Welcome to the Late Flight Show. On this wonderful Tuesday, late flight. This late flight is going into your dreams. And in your dreams, I want you to imagine a world, a universe, a space in time where unknown powers reside, powers that have an effect on this earthly realm, that have an effect on us creative people, and particularly on filmmakers, in particular, specifically on actors. These are the all-encompassing film gods. So who are the film gods? If you're in this business, you have to pay heed and respect the film gods. The film gods are responsible for your acting. The film gods are responsible for making sure that you kind of survive in the business. And the film gods can either like you or not like you, but either way, there's definitely going to be a change. I'm just gonna go on. I'm really gonna go on. We never do that on the Late Flight Show, and we had technical difficulties there. But you know, there was noise and interruption in the background as I'm talking about the film gods, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna have to start again because I'm a one take wonder, and sometimes, yeah, okay, I have to take like 5 takes, but it's all for you in service of my character. Um, and so I'm talking about the film gods, and then I'm like, oh crap, there's just a disturbance, and I'm like, the film gods either like you or they hate you, and then I pause, and I'm like, I'm gonna start again. I'm like, no, those are the film gods. They're just making themselves known. They're just saying, hey, late flight show, hey, co-hosts, say hi to the film gods. They're here with us. That's amazing. I feel honored, actually, for you joining us, film gods. People have so many questions to ask of you. Why do you ruin people's shots, film gods? You know when you're doing a film and if you're feeling a scene and you're acting, and then someone will ruin the shot, or someone will start talking, or someone will walk across frame, and you were just feeling it, you were just saying the thing. Film gods, why do you do that? And then you know when you do it the second time or the third time or the next time after you felt you had it right, you're not gonna feel satisfied, and it's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. Film gods, why do you do that to us? Film gods, is it okay? Well, let them answer. I'll be their representative as well, their translator, and I'll answer for them. So firstly, the film gods, just a bit of background if you're new to the business. The film gods are the rulers of this business. They decide who goes on, they decide for how long, why, when, who, what, everything. They are the law of attraction, if you will. Um, they are not invisible people. They are real people. But I use the term film gods affectionately because of the power that they hold, but they're actual people. Like, you can look them up on Wikipedia. Um, and drawing on Adler technique, the idea and the spirit that they represent, the idea, is what we are sitting with here today. And it's a phenomena. It definitely is a phenomena. And anyone who's been on set for a minute can tell you there are film gods. And also gremlins. Oh, honey, the gremlins, though. Film gods. We have a lot to talk about on the Late Flight Show. So the film gods ruin your shots. Why? So the film gods now are going to answer the question. Film gods, why do you interrupt people's shots and ruin and kill their vibe? The film gods say, I feel like Moses. The film gods say, the nature and the quality of the work is plastic already, anyway. Whenever something happens to call attention to the reality, or the plasticity rather, of the scene or the shot or the actual concept that you are acting, that's for the actor to experience life while doing their job. Because oftentimes as actors, we want to be insulated from reality when we're on set. We don't want to know about death. We don't want to know about pain because we can't concentrate. And that might seem horrible, but it's a way for us to focus on the matter at hand, which is an art, and when it's time to focus, we have to focus, and we would love to do that. I mean, I was watching Elizabeth Taylor, a documentary, and when she was filming Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, one of my favorite movies, she learned that her husband died, and she got a 2-week break, and she had to be back on set filming. That's what happens. Those are the film gods. They strike again. And then when she was filming Cleopatra, she went and caught pneumonia. Those are the film gods. Strike again. And when she made her very first film, when she was a jockey riding a horse, she was too short for the role, so she literally stretched her body and damaged her spine in the process to get the role. Film gods strike again. So the film gods are there to make us, they say, experience real life while being in an insulated process of fantasy, to realize the stakes that are at hand in what we're doing. And oftentimes when actors are about to film something, it's weird. The film gods will hit them with a bout of tragedy. And then all of these crazy people will come around and say to the Illuminati, there's no such thing as the Illuminati. There's just businesses and people who want to make money and not offend anyone in the process. There's just white men. Nothing else. There's no invisible, there's no ooh. It's just reality. And when reality happens to you, the film gods are striking. And when celebrities go through tragedies while filming, it's not because it's a sacrifice. This is not the skeleton key. It's because it's the film gods reminding the actor that the stakes are really high in what the concept of acting is. You're not just acting words and scripts, okay? When you're acting, you are representing someone, because best believe that character exists somewhere in the world. By the law of averages, it has to. Every character that's ever been acted exists exactly the same as it was acted in real life, just by pure law of averages or coincidence or whatever, mathematics, must be at least once an occurrence of that in the world. And so by that standing, you can't just go do your own thing. You have to respect the craft and you have to focus. And the film gods love a focuser, I've noticed. And the film gods say, as long as you as an actor don't get consumed by the image of what being an actor means, if you don't get that confused with the work of what an actor does, then the film gods will smile on you, and they won't give you such traumatic stories. The film gods appreciate solitude. They appreciate being a hermit. As a performer, they appreciate silence, because it's within the silences that the audience gets to create the meaning in their minds of whatever it is going on in the scene. Just like it's within the darkness that the light emerges in the picture frame that makes the moving image that we work for. So it's really important, the film gods say, to be still, to meditate. And to meditate doesn't mean to go om. It's just to think about thinking. That's meditation. Think about thinking. How do you think? Why do you think that way? What made you think that way? Break down your psychological fallacies. That usually helps. So that you don't need to go through tragedy in order to get to those places, in order to have the honor of having the name actor attached to you as your profession. Because the film gods will make you an actor. This is not a game, acting. And people always look at actors as like these weirdos with this weird language that only they understand. And yet when civilians listen to it, it sounds like a cult. But when actors listen to it, their bodies vibrate because they understand exactly what I'm talking about. The film gods smile upon and love dedication. And the film gods, if you say you're an actor, whether you're right or wrong, as Henry Ford said, you're right. Whether you think you can or can't, you're right. So if you say you're an actor, the film gods will make you one. So be careful. That's why they always say, when they ask them, would you advise your kids to go into the business? And they always say no. Because they now know, be careful what you wish for. Because the film gods will make you what you want. And it's a path you can only take on your own. No one else can come with you. And you have to understand that from the get-go. And still follow through with it. The film gods will show you why it's important. I mean, on my first independent film project, I was betrayed by so many people that I didn't think would betray my trust. And I credit that to the film gods, because everything else came so easily. I was kind of in a bubble where I was getting out of touch with the reality of the subject matter that I'm dealing with. which is really a tough subject, and it's really, you know, heavy. So the film gods sent me through my period of heaviness, which surprisingly added to the experience of the film. And that's the thing with the film gods. They don't care about you, they care about the integrity of the film, because that's what lasts. And they will be damned if they let you mess up their legacy. And you can say, well, what about all of these? I mean, that's ridiculous. What film gods? I mean, there's horrible movies made every day, and great movies that aren't made every day. But understand that on the Late Flight Show, we don't talk about movie of the week acting. We don't talk about um, fast food acting. We talk about the craft and the reason why it was invented, and the importance and central role it plays in human life. So we're looking at movies like Citizen Kane, like Sunset Boulevard, movies that actually have an impact today. Those are the films that the film gods worry about. The other films that go on in the industry are just, that's not the film gods, that's something else. We might get into that because I know a bit about what that is. Those are fun, those are easy. But yeah, but that's something else. But these films that I'm talking about are proper cinema. I'm talking about cinema. And the film gods rule cinema, and they will make you what you claim to be, one way or the other. So be careful if you say you are an actor slash producer, director, because you will be by the end of it if you survive. And the film gods, the film gods, let's, film gods, why when we think we've got an audition and that we're going to get the part from the audition, we don't get the part. And then when we think we're not going to get the part, we get the part. Tell our fellow actors why, film gods. Okay. So let me just make sure I'm reaching the reception area in the area code on the Wi-Fi. Okay, so the film gods are saying, your job as an actor is to give realistic portrayals of people, to bring about healing. And if you can't do that, you can't do that. When you start getting your pride involved and you start seeing it as a competition, then you are no better than the prosecutor who only sees his conviction rate as his sense of worth and not actually getting to justice, getting to the bottom of who really did something. And the film gods abhor injustice. The film gods say, you might be able to take injustice in your legal system and in your civilian life, but in the film world, there's never injustice. We represent the light in the darkness because that's what film is, a black strip that has light exposed to it and has images that change the world. Just ask the propaganda films from Germany. So the film gods are saying when pride gets in the way of the process of the art, then you won't get the job. But similarly, when you feel really down and like you're not getting the job and you're on your last $10 and you don't know what to do, your laundry's wet and you can't afford to dry it, and then you go to this audition and by some strange miracle, everything just works in the audition. You get there late, but they let you in. You get in, you flunk the read, but you get a callback. You go to the callback, you read again, and then you just nail it without knowing how you did it because you didn't even prepare. And that's the film god saying, but when you are down, we will be there. Because as long as you get to the audition, as long as you get to set, as long as you act, do the thing, as long as you do the thing, they will carry you through. But don't ever take it for granted that they do that, because the ultimate focus for the film gods, for them to love you and shower you with their blessings, is a love of the craft. And the film gods are saying, if you can love the craft, then you will show your love. And if you show your love, they will show their love to you. But it can't be a trap. You can't get consumed. You always have to remember you are separate from them. You are with them, but not of them, as one of my favorite actors used to say. He felt when he was growing up. He was like, I always felt like I was with them, but not of them. And then he ended up being Lawrence of Arabia. Peter O'Toole was his name. May he rest in peace. So, as an actor, realizing that is key to the film gods' adoration and veneration of you. And if you think this is all like fun and games and glamour and parties and the parties are the worst parts, because that's the work. That's when you actually have to go to work and pretend to be happy at these things, so that you can come and join and watch. But partying is fun too, let's be honest. But remember, always be working, always have your business going. And by business, I mean always be acting, always be doing something. ABA, ABBA, father, always be acting. Always be bloody acting. I should patent that. ABBA, always be bloody acting. So the film gods love you, and they want you to know that whatever happens, you'll be able to use your whatever experience you're going through now in your scene work. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's the grace of the film gods. So, as we move forward, let's thank the film gods and fly away, angels. Deep into the clouds.